at least his introductory remarks. So we are going to go through a 25-minute session just to get to know each other, yeah, and appreciate who we are. Whoever is late then can join us as we go. But let me begin with a background to what we are going to be doing. Many years ago, when I was still in the age group of the Gen Zs of that time, yeah, we had fundraised the carriage. I used to belong to an organization called ISEC. So we would fundraise carriages from Kenya Railways. They gave us 1 or 2 carriages, and we organize a workshop. We bring all our members to the coast, and we enjoy ourselves, yeah, university students. So I was going through the carriage one time, and there was this USIU delegation. How many people here are from USIU or were in USIU at one time? Hey, your hand, raise it. You're embarrassed to have been there. Yeah, so there was this lady called Agatha who was reading this book, and I was a bit curious why you should be reading a book when people seem to be having so much fun. And she told me, Mike, I'm going through these Chinese zodiac signs. And I said, those things don't work. I said, they do. Which year were you born? Tell me the year you were born, time, blah, 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 and I'll read for you. So she looked at it and said, okay, Mike, you are born in the year of the monkey. I don't know why it's a monkey, but it was the year of the monkey. And she read through it. And it was uncannily accurate, yeah, describing our personalities and the way we behave and relate with other people. So I began giving the Chinese wisdom a bit of more respect. And that forms the background to what we are going to be doing today morning. We want to introduce ourselves, but we'll follow the Chinese zodiac signs. Yeah, and ironically, I didn't put this together, and I did my groundwork. Yeah, it began with Aries. That is March 21st to April 19th. So Aries is my sign, so it's not that I've rigged. Yeah, it is the way the Chinese signs begin. And I want to ask anyone who's born between March 21st and April 19th to stand up. Yeah, anyone born under the great sign of Aries, Simama? Or am I the only one who's enjoying the greatness? Yeah, if you're online, stand up wherever you are. Why are you embarrassed to be part of Aries? How many are there? It's just you. Okay, yeah, 3 of you. So we quickly want to know your name and organization. No many stories. Name, organization, networking is over drinks tomorrow.
Okay, my name is Patrick Migwitz. My first time. The organization is Kenya Children's Fund.
Excellent. So you formed the basis. That's the way we want to hear those quick introductions. Karibu Daktari.
Good morning. I am Fatha Aden from Garissa University.
Excellent.
My name is Israel Atango from IFRC. Thank you.
Excellent. So you see, Aries people are very disciplined. And the star sign says they are energetic, courageous, and impulsive. So when you meet them, know these Aries people are great people. Then we go to the bull, Taurus. Yeah, they can be quite stubborn. But anyway, the bull, Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. They're said to be reliable, practical, and stubborn. What were May wasimame? Let's see the May people. And you see they stand up very quickly. Why are you all seated on the same table?
Good morning. My name is Munialo Atuenje from Kasnem Foundation.
Excellent.
Good morning. My name is Caroline Nyokabi. I'm from Daystar University.
Good morning. Maureen Irungu from LAP Fund, that is Local Authorities Provident Fund. Asante.
Thank you very much. Any other bull I've missed? Where? Okay. You got lost a bit, but not too far.
Good morning. My name is Tom Okello from Oraya Trust.
Thank you. And when people tell you good morning as Africans, we say good morning. Yeah, tunarudisha mkono. Yeah, we always say then being born in the waking up in the morning is a pleasure. It's a blessing from God. Not everyone who went to sleep woke up. So Gemini, May 21st to June 21st. So curious, quick-witted, and inconsistent. I didn't write that. Ni hawa watu wa China ndio wameandika si mimi. So where the Gemini people? You tend to be curious. We'll forget the last one. Eh?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Festus from the Fred Hollows Foundation. Thank you.
Once you say Fred Hollows and Foundation, then we say inconsistent. Hiyo ni madharau. So, karibu sana. Anyone else with Gemini? No one else, eh? Or I shouldn't have said inconsistent. I think I'll read out the characteristics after we've gone through. So we come down to Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. June 21st to July 22nd. Anyone from the Cancer sign? One at the back, one at the front, one in the middle, eh? Let me see their signs. Loyal, protective, moody. So,
sorry, we are loyal, we are protective, we are nice like that. Edwin Wanyonyi is my name. I work for the university's fund. Thank you.
so if your kid is trying to join campus and you're looking for subsidies,
We are not moody. So my name is Sarah Mukisa, the Development Research and Project Center.
okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're not moody, eh? Okay. Vile umeniangalia, I'll not say anything.
Okay, my name is Helen Mdora from Raia Trust, and Cancerians, we work like the crab, hard on the outside, soft in the inside.
Okay. Uraia has spoken, so.
Good morning. Moya Lois from Raia Trust.
Pleasure. Oh, you're all together, eh? Okay. Karibu sana Uraia. So we go to the next one. And that is the sign of Leo. Eh? July 23rd to August 22nd. Where are the lions in the room? Leo? Very interestingly, a lot of you are sitting together. Eh? Yeah. So what do they say about Leo? They are creative, generous, but domineering. Yes. So boy child chunga sana.
That is very true. So my name is Francisca and I work with the IFRC.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Karibu.
Good morning. My name is Kawera Mathu. I work for Village Hope Co International.
Karibu sana. Thank you. And very patriotic. Eh? I need to get one of those.
Good morning. My name is Elaine from Garissa University.
Karibu sana. We are not returning greetings morning. Is it because the cocktail moved from yesterday or? Cynthia, we have a problem. Eh? We are not returning these morning greetings. Eh? So we now go to Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Yeah, Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Anyone born under that sign? You are unique, at least for now. Eh? And you are analytical, hardworking, and critical. Yeah, so we need to watch you carefully and listen to you. Eh?
Good morning. Morning to you. I'm Moero Robert from Raia Trust.
Karibu sana. Anyone else have missed? Oh, you are hidden, eh?
Thank you. Good morning. Morning. My name is Mary Jerry. I work for Dista University.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary. So we go to the next sign. Let's see what we've got. Yours is coming, don't worry. If you didn't miss it. Eh? We are now going to Libra, September 23rd to October 23rd. Libra, one person, eh? Two. Okay, so what do they say about the Librans? Diplomatic, cooperative, but I didn't write this, indecisive. Eh?
Good morning. So my name is Caroline Kingo, and I work for Hand in Hand Eastern Africa.
Okay, karibu sana.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Lucy Jaramba, and I work for the Judiciary of Kenya.
What I said is not my words. Lucy. You know, Lucy knows too many people, so I need to be careful. So we then go then to Skopje, October 24th to November 21st. Skopje. Two guys, or two boy child. So what do they say about the Skopjeans? You are very passionate, you are resourceful, but you're also jealous. So I'm just noting where you sat.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. My name is Moses Onyinge from the Higher Education Loans Board.
Okay. Karibu sana.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Nicholas Sewe. I work for Ampath.
Okay. Yes. Karibu sana. So we are making good progress. We then proceed to Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. Sagittarius. Hey, they are quite a number. I need to see what happened 9 months before. So Sagittarius, you're adventurous, you're honest, but you're also tactless.
Good morning. My name is Ahmed Mohammed from Garissa University.
Karibu sana.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Anthony Hayanga from Strathmore University.
Okay. Karibu sana.
I'm actually a day old. My birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday to tutakuimbia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edda from Nature's Beach.
Karibu sana, Edda.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ambrose Jage. I'm working for KEYNOTE Foundation. Pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Ambrose.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Jackson Langat. I work for Tegemeo Institute. It's an institute of Egerton University. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Kisaulu Mary. I'm GTech Company Engineering.
Okay. Yeah, so karibu sana. So let's see what the next sign. I think we are down to 3 more. The next one is Capricorn. So December 22nd to January 19th. Capricorns. Oh, they are quite a number, so it's a very active period before. So the Capricorns are disciplined, responsible, and unforgiving.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jessica Donovan, and I am an independent consultant working on sustainability from people, resources, and also organizations.
Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Daniel Kise. I work for the government of Makueni County. Thank you.
So good morning. My name is Charity Mumu. I work from the great Makueni County government. Interestingly, in the same
sign.
Same sign. I didn't know.
We need to do an audit and see whether it is a requirement.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Alila Msenya, and I work for Academic Model Providing Access to Healthcare, which is Ampath. Thank you.
Okay, you should have just said Ampath. Okay, everyone else is this side.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am Kavi Karuga from Uraia Trust and very forgiving.
Very forgiving. So there's a mistake there.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I am Julia Kangara and I work for Nature's Beach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's unforgiving. She has not denied.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Stephen Kiprop and I work for Brook East Africa.
Karibu sana Kiprop. So down to the last 2 signs, and sorry for the people who are online. We'll need to find a mechanism to get you to introduce yourselves later. Aquarius, the water people, January 20th to February 18th. Yeah, the ones who are born when costs are very high. January 20th, February 18th. How many do you have? 2 people? So you tend to be independent, intellectual, but also detached. Is that true? Maybe,
Good morning, everybody. Morning. My name is William Omwega. I work for Orbis International. Okay. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Igecha. I work with Kenyan Foundation. Thank you.
Karibu sana, Anthony, again. Then the last sign before I hand over to Morris. Oh, sorry, who did I miss? Duncan, of all people. That one I need to apologize, but I'll greet you first. Yeah.
All right. Good morning, team. My name is Duncan Ouma from KCA University. I'm glad to be here again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Duncan, and my apologies again. Then lastly, we have pieces. So lastly, we have pieces February 19th to March 20th. Pieces. Daniel, are you the only one? Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Daniel. I work for Tier Fund. Thank you.
Karibu, Daniel.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Magana. I work for Strathmore University.
Karibu sana, Richard. So have I missed anyone? Anyone who came after we had passed their sign? Yeah, please stand up so we do a quick introduction. Okay. Just name and organization, please.
Good morning. My name is Geoffrey Jaramba. I work for Zitec University. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Good morning. Morning. My name is Anne Karimi. I work for Universities Fund.
Okay. Karibu sana, Anne.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Msangadre. 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 Hi, cousins. My name is Flavian Kubasu. I work for Lab Fund.
Okay. Karibu sana, Flavian.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Job Nakado. I work for Kenya Medical Training College, KMTC.
Good morning. My name is Kibiti James from Judiciary.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Murethi Maitai, the Judiciary.
Okay. So thank you everyone then for keeping time and joining us. It's 20 past. I want to invite our chairman, Morris, to formally invite us. You know, these are the people who have waited. Sisi hatuna uzito. Yeah, so Morris, please, karibu.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Good morning once again. So thank you so much, Mike, for the introduction and a word of welcome to all of you. We are living in very unprecedented times, especially in our country. When the year began, who expected Trump to behave the way he did? No one. And yet we suspected it will happen, but nobody thought it would happen. And then suddenly made a pronouncement, and many organizations were closed. And there are senior people I know, and I know you know them, who became, can I say, jobless? Isn't it? And a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years, who expected that what happened in COVID could happen? No one. And for almost 1 year, we could not move. Isn't it? And even at this time, for those who are around my age, you can guess my age. Yeah? We are working in an office with those people who are almost the age of our children, isn't it? And some of us here are working with people the age of their parents, and in the same office, the age of their children. So imagine that dynamic. You're working with somebody who's almost like your father or mother, but in the same corridors, you meet with somebody else who is almost like your child. And you can imagine the dynamic involved with it. So for example, the other day I was speaking with one of my colleagues, and he's simply telling me that I cannot do it. You know, and she reports to me, and she's telling me I cannot do it. Something which I could not dare tell my boss. And you cannot fire this person because they have a right. In our organization where I work at the CPF Group Foundation and the mother organization CPF Group, more than 50% of the staff are below 30 years. You know, so they are a force by themselves. In fact, it's almost 60% are below 30 years. So that is the dynamic we are operating in, isn't it? And within our country, Kenya, even from a legal point of view, there is a new act. I don't know whether it's already an act or is a bill. I think the Charities Bill. You remember it? Who is familiar with it? As fundraisers, there is a Charities Act bill which is in Parliament. The PBO Act also became into force, isn't it? So as fundraisers, there are so many things which are happening in our space that we must be aware of. So this workshop provides an opportunity to interact with people. Some of us are those who are starting. You can say we are beginners. Others are in the middle. And others are gurus. In fact, yesterday when I came and I met with someone, I don't know whether I should recognize him now or tomorrow. Sewe. Where is Sewe? Oh, he's walking in. Sewe works with Ampath. They have 150 big donors, not small donors. 150 big donors. And I told Sewe, as we were discussing, I said, now, in fact, you are the ones supposed to be standing here and sharing with us how you have been able to bring on board 150 big donors, the USAIDs, the UK AIDS, and much more. So within this workshop, while there will be speakers who will be standing here in front to share, majority of the information is within us. As you've heard everybody introduce themselves, everybody is coming here as an expert on their own. So I don't want to preempt so much about the workshop. I'm just going to give you an overview. But before doing that, I would like to welcome and recognize the board members and the secretariat behind the Kenya Association of Fundraising Professionals. So I would like to welcome you to come here, please. All the board members, just come here. And so the team can see you and know who is who. Dr. Wanyonyi, please come. Jackie, Ruwaida, Mike, the trustee, Ongus. I'll request them not only to, I will just say their offices in the association, but they will tell you the organizations they represent so that you can get to know a little bit much more about them. The one who is coming slowly, by slowly, is called I'll just mention their names in their titles in the association, but later on they will say what else they do in life. So Mike is the founding trustee of the Kenya Association of Fundraising Professionals. He was there from the very beginning in 2004. Ruwaida, nawasema kabisa. So Ruwaida is the secretary, but he will be telling you the organization he works for. And then the money bags. The money bags, Cindy. And Cindy, I know some of you have seen her somewhere else. And it happens on Fridays, but people usually don't recognize her, whether it is her, but she will tell you. And Jackie Madaga, Dr. Edin Wanyonyi, and Ines Ongus. So starting from Ines, I'll request you to say a word and also the organization you work.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It doesn't appear that we have the right energy in the room. We are fundraisers. Institutions are looking up to us. Can we have some energy? Good morning. My name is Ines Ongus. I raise money. That is always how I introduce myself. I am a university fundraiser. I work for United States International University, Africa, as the Director Advancement and Partnership. they coil it with a very nice title. But all that is raising money. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here, and we will be engaging.
Good morning. Hamjambo. Today I'm in a mood of singing. But then I've also confirmed that my voice is not on the keyboard. So please let's be upstanding. Seriously, we must sing this song. So let's sing. So it's a Swahili song. Asante sana kwa kuja kwenu, asante. Very good. Can we do this? Very good. Are we ready to sing? Asante sana kwa kuja kwenu, asante. Let's do it better. Like we have energy, please get some little space. Please dance, enjoy, and feel free. All right, can we go? Asante sana. You know, these people here are singing much more louder than you guys. So we will do this. Half of this room you'll start singing. Then the second part will sing. And then these people will sing, the third one. And then we'll sing together. So this is the only opportunity I get to be a conductor of a choir. All right? Asante san. Please sing this side. Asante san. Together. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. So please clap for yourself for coming. So Edwin Wanyonyi is my name. I was among the first few students that appeared in Michilwa's class when we began way back in, wow, 2004. I am a dinosaur. Yes, during the day, 8 to 5, I work for Universities Fund as the CEO. Beyond 8 to 5, I work for my family. We've been able to manufacture in that process 3 children. But in case I leave the earth and you find more children, please don't ask me, I'll have gone. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. As fundraisers, your energy should be way up. If you're not feeling any joy, catch some this week. Find somebody who's looking like they are and catch it because your work depends on it, right? So my name is Jackie Mathaga. I am the vice chair of KFP. Yay, clap for me. Excellent. I do many things. I'll mention 2 things that I do. First, I am the Director of Resource Mobilization at Daystar University. Yay. And then the second thing I do, I am also a disability advocate, and my work specifically in disability advocacy centers on parents. So inclusion, empowering parents so that they can advocate better for their kids. So that the 2 things, if you meet me outside of this room at tea or lunch, ask me what is the other thing I do, and then I might tell you.
Oh, great, fantastic. Morning, everyone. I don't mind that the energies are low. I'm sure they'll be up. It's very hot outside. Some of you are just calming down. I'm sure after hydration and networking, the energies will be a little elevated. My name is Cindy Ogana. I am the board treasurer of KFP. In terms of my 9 to 5, I work for an animal welfare charity called Brook East Africa. Sisi ni wale watu watunza punda akutunze. So we advocate for the welfare of horses, donkeys, and mules in East Africa. I also sit on another board called Women Empowerment Link. So if you're into the feminism space, please come and see me. In terms of manufacturing, I have also manufactured 3 human beings who are now eating me out of house and home. But most importantly, I'm so excited that in this edition of our workshop, majority of you are first-timers. Now, please kindly indulge me a bit. If it is your very first time, you have never come to any KFP workshop, whether it was public sector, the one we had earlier this year. This is the first workshop ever of KFP you've attended. Please stand up so that we can applaud you. Look at that. Just look at that. Those who have attended, please give them a round of applause. Karibuni to the association, Kenya Association of Fundraising Professionals. You can have your seat. You're very welcome. This is the home of fundraisers. This is where we look for money to create change, not for admin costs. There's a difference. We are here to create change. I'm also excited that among us, some of you have come with board members and your CEOs. So we really need to emphasize that the money we raise is to create change, not to pay salaries. So thank you so much. Karibuni tena sana.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So morning everyone again. Morning. So my name is Mike Muchula, for those who didn't get it. I won't put on my name tag. Founder of this organization and a few others, very passionate about Africa. And I change lives, I transform lives. So money is for something. So for me, every extra child who has a bright future, yeah, any community that has clean water, yeah, any life that is transformed in this great continent of ours, because Africa is a great continent. It has everything we need. So yes, we get support from out there, but those are breadcrumbs. The wealth is here. Yeah, so every time I go out and I work with you, because I'm a consultant, I work with you to transform this continent so that all those kids that are being manufactured here have a bright future. They don't have to die going or drown going to Europe. They don't have to be treated by crap, thrown out by Trump like garbage. Yeah, I'm working towards building a greater Africa. So thank you so much. I'll say one other thing. I'm a champion of sustainability. So you notice we don't have donors for KFP, and two other organizations I work with. Sustainability is possible. Thank you so much.
As always, I save the best for last. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Habari mabibi na mabwana. My name is Ruwaida Abdul Rahman. I am KFP's board secretary. In real life, I'm a human multivite. I change lives, I grow people, and I make a difference in everything that I find purpose in. I am a product of KFP. My career is grounded in KFP, having come to this conference for the first time in, it's been long. Many years. Got old. So about 15 years. I'd like to guarantee you that this is your community. This is your community of practice. And I believe in green light thinking. I am an extremely busy person, but I do like to help where I can. So feel free to reach out should you have anything that you maybe need support with to anybody on this. I'm not going to talk about manufacturing because if we're about sustainability, I work in the climate space. So in my real life, I am the director of fundraising, communications, and partnerships at Natural State. I provide solutions for development interventions. So if you're interested in that, please see me behind the tent. Karibuni.
Thank you so much, timekeeper. How are we doing with time before I take out over? Thank you so much, board members. How are we doing with time?
We have 10 minutes.
Before
our keynote speaker.
Okay. I would also want to introduce our secretariat. Maybe if you could just come, Brenda, Kevin, you could just come here, mbio. Alafu, you know, so, Anne? So, Kevin, maybe you could be on the extreme end, and then, so, I will request them to introduce themselves. We have a very young secretariat. I was giving you an example of where I work. And also at KFP, you can see for yourself that the team behind whatever we do is quite young and energetic. So we have a lean secretariat here, and we work with a lot of volunteers. So I will request each one to introduce themselves, and then I'll make a comment after that.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anne Mudhuka. I'm the head of finance and admin at Kenya Association of Fundraising Professionals, and I'm glad that after the many phone calls today, you've finally joined us. We couldn't have been here if you are not here. So thank you so much for joining us for the workshop.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brenda Wairimo, Marketing and Comms Coordinator at KFP. I am sure I have interacted with a lot of you, maybe on call or in emails, and I'm really looking forward to having an amazing time with you guys. I'm going to bug you so much because on pictures, social media, I don't know if you have seen your consent form. Have you? Okay, so I'm going to pass them around, and then you can sign just to consent if I do have the consent to take your pictures and videos and all that. But until then, anything you need in regards to KFP membership or looking around, I'm your guy. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Bwira, and if anyone has heard of Second Coming, so I joined KFP back in 2016, and I was there for 1 year, 3 months. So I left on 31st of December 2017. And so I've been doing consultancies and working with quite a number of organizations within the space. Now I come back as a consultant, and probably coming early next year, we'll be able to touch base and see how best we can increase the space as resource mobilizers. So I'm happy to be here, and I'll be glad to interact with all of us. I'll be rapporteuring for the time being.
Let's give a big clap. So before the team goes, so the boss who makes sure that all of us are here and controls and everything is none other. And tumpige makofi. Maybe we can, as a sign of honor for these young ladies, I would like to request you to just stand up to honor them and give them a word of encouragement. Tuwapige makofi kubwa. Thank you so much. Thank you. You may sit down. So thank you very much, Anne and Brenda and Kevin. And we also work with volunteers, and we welcome volunteers to support the work behind the scenes. So thank you very much. Thank you. So right now I'll just do a quick overview. Just remind me again about time. No, our guest speaker is going to join us in about 5 minutes, so I won't take a very long time. But I guess everybody has received a program. Do you have a copy? Do you know that if you leave the workshop even now with this program, you are almost 80% done? So, and there is a saying that if you want to hide a secret, and Donovan, I don't know whether this is true from the other side, that you hide the secret in a book. If you want to hide a secret for people in Africa, you hide it in a book. So this book is actually covering everything that will be shared during the workshop. So what will be shared here verbally will just be a reaffirmation of what has been captured here. So please keep this book carefully, because we have done it in such a way that there are daily nuggets, there are examples of things that you are going to use even beyond the workshop. So please keep it. And then the other thing, and I'll request Brenda to share with us at one point the hashtag. We are on social media, and we'll request you if you can take photos, if there's some nuggets which you can share. Is it, what is the hashtag? Okay, so you'll put it at a screen at one point, and there will be prizes. At the end of the day, the person who has tweeted the most, or I don't know, do we call it Xed? Because it used to be tweet, now it is X. I don't know how they call it now. So, the person who will have done the most, you will receive a prize tomorrow in the morning. And we will be happy if every one of us receives a prize. Now, if you go to the last, just a quick overview of the timetable, just on page 13. On page 13, I just ran you quickly through the program. Dr. Anyonyi, let me know when the moment Dr. has joined, and then I will just stop there so that, yeah, so the moment Dr. Kipngetich has joined us, you let us know, and then I don't keep him waiting. So after this, we are going to have an opening session from Dr. Julius Kipngetich. I know you all know him, and he's worked very closely with Dr. Wanyonyi, and also where I work is a patron of a club I belong to called the Pension Club International. So Dr. Kipngetich is very known in this space. When he was at KWS, he was able to grow resources, I think from some millions to several billions. And Dr. Wanyonyi will be able to share about that. After that, at 11, around 11 there, we'll have a session on really breaking down what are some of our expectations about resource mobilization. And that session will be handled again by Dr. Wanyonyi together with Ongus, the director and resource mobilization from USIU. And then we'll go for lunch. And then in the afternoon, we'll have a virtual, Brenda, I shared with you something, the timetable. If you could, with the names. So at 2, we'll have a virtual session by somebody called Blessings Zigo. She's from Revolutionize International. Revolutionize is one of the biggest consultancies supporting people to do fundraising. So they'll be sharing with us what we're calling the Great Fundraising Project. So please make sure you'll be there. And then after that, we'll break. Cindy, break. Cindy, confirm that we have the... Reconfirm that we have or we'll... Yes. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, assuming we had this feeling on the first day the energy levels would be low, so we have an event organized for you to increase your energies and also to network. At 4 p.m. at the Jumbo Hall, and we will give you directions later on today, we have a welcome and networking cocktail. So this is just for you to sit, mingle, and interact with the people in the room. Everything that we make is halal. I need to let you know that. Number 2, we have alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. So this is only for the delegates. If you have come with a +1, mwembe mutapatana 7. This is only for the delegates that are here to network and to get to know each other. So that will happen a little later on, but karibuni tena sana. 4 p.m. Jumbo Hall.
Thank you very much. Dr. Pia, keep on flag me in case Dr. Kipngetich is online. I'll just post there. So that will be the end of day 1. And then day 2 tomorrow, like we have done in the previous years, we tend to have a session in the morning. Maybe you want to make a pitch, you want to share more about your organization. So there is a not compulsory session from 8:15 to 8:50. And here you like to share more about your organization. You want to make an appeal, you want to share anything. You just give your name to our team, and then you are given that moment. But from 9 to 10, we'll have a session revitalizing. You have resource mobilization strategy. It's online, eh? Okay. So I'll take a pause. Maybe you can bring it on screen. Yes. And at this juncture, I just want to request Edwin, maybe if you can come and you share a brief intro of our guest speaker. And then after that, we'll proceed as we go on. So without much ado, I think I'll just hand it over to Dr. Wanyonyi. Thank you.
Please, let's put your hands together for a chair, for a good job that is done. Thank you, Bwana Morris. I told you, today I'm in this mood of singing. I wish I had the voice. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you surely want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, nod your head. If you're happy and you know, nod your head. If you're happy and you know, and you surely want to show, if you're happy and you know, nod your head. If you're happy and you know, smile to the next neighbor. If you're happy and you know, smile to the next neighbor. If you're unhappy and you know, and you surely want to show, if you're happy and you know, do them all. I had never realized that resource mobilizers have a problem of coordination until this morning. So to speak to us, our keynote speaker is Dr. Julius Kipngetich. I have known him as my boss for a very long time. And he's also a thought leader. He speaks very well. You never get tired to listen to Dr. Julius Kipngetich. He has served in different capacities. At the moment, he serves as the CEO of Jubilee Holdings, Group CEO of Jubilee Holdings East Africa. He also served as CEO of Equity. He served as the CEO of Kenya Wildlife Service. So in the paramilitary setting, he was actually a commander of the wildlife. He served as CEO of Investment Promotion Center. Beyond that, he's spoken in various forums. He's a very good speaker. He's a management expert. And he's also a change expert. And so in all the life that I have worked with Julius, he believes in process, systems. In my previous work assignment, I remember the first time he introduced us to Gemba Kaizen, and we were all amazed and how quickly we translated it into Swahili. Kupanga, kudumisha, kusafisha, and we were all living that life. And so today, without much ado, please put your hands together as we invite our keynote speaker to speak to us and share his thoughts on the main topic of today's conversation. Please, let's clap for Dr. Kipngetich. I hope he's able to see us. Yes, please, you can wave back. You know, salamu pia ni mzuri, na nusu ya kuonana. Asante sana. Please, sir, karibu sana. We can't hear you, just hold. There's a sound problem. Okay. You need to unmute yourself, sir. You're muted. Technology normally does this thing when it shouldn't. Okay. I am told you, Dr. Kipngetich, by the way, for the longest time, I sometimes get very confused to call him his full names because he liked us calling him Kip. So for the longest time, we actually referred to him as Kip, even when he was our boss. It's always easy to call him Kip. So there is one of your team members here, Pensions Club, who says, I must introduce that you are the patron. Otherwise, things will not be okay. So please, thank you. We're just trying to sort out sound for a minute. We on?
Apologies, Daktari. We had a drop in the internet. There was a surge and it has disconnected everything that we've done since 7. So we are in the process of reconnecting a couple of things. It seems that the Zoom connection came through, but the sound didn't. So that is what we are sorting. Poleni, guys, it's beyond our control. If you're using the online internet, you've noticed that it's a little flaky. So we did have our backup internet, but the hotel has experienced an overwhelming surge in terms of usage. So we're just trying to dot our I's and cross our T's, but we thank you so much. Daktari will just be asking you intermittently to give us a sound check just to ensure that we are connected on your side, because I can see from your responses you can hear us. The challenge is we cannot hear you because there's a bit of a surge in our side. So just a couple of minutes and then we will begin. In terms of framing Daktari, I don't know if it's possible, the device that you're using, to push it back just a little bit so it frames, gives you a bigger image. Well, not you to move back, to push your device forward. Yes, that is much better. So we're able to see you better. And, you're not completely cut off by the framing. I'll kindly ask that we are just a bit careful with the cables on that side, Maurice and Edwin. Because that's where the tripping came across. Daktari, do you mind giving us a sound check, just saying hi? No, not yet. We can't hear you, but I can read your lips, so I can tell you're saying hi. We're just going to do another sound check. And apologies again. All right, Daktari, please speak. Dr. Kipmentich, maybe say hi.
Maybe try, drop out and log in.
So Daktari, Dr. Kipmentich, we're kindly asking you to drop out, to leave the Zoom and rejoin. It's probably how he joined Zoom. The bane of our existence. Unfortunately, we're having some technical issues. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We are kindly asking you to bear with us. On our side, the sound is perfect. We can hear each other, but we can't hear Daktari. So it's probably how he has joined. He has not enabled sound on his part. Yes, Daktari, we can hear you. But just...
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Very quick. Can you hear? Something?
Yes, I can hear you.
Or am I being optimistic? At the back, can you hear anything? Yes. Okay.
Is it the same thing? We have tested. Yes.
Oh, mimi nionge. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, great. So he can hear me. Now it's for him to hear us. We can hear you, Daktari, though very faint.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Guys. At the back, can you hear it talk? We're good to go. All right, Daktari, just confirming you can hear me. Please go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay, excellent. Okay, sorry for that setback, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Wanyonyi, for that introduction. I recall when we brought you to KWS, I think 2006. Yes, 2006. And you are a flashy young man. You're still young. And, I said, let me take a chance on this young man who was very energetic, very clear on what he wanted to do. And here we are today. You are chairing an association of fundraisers. Well done, Wanyonyi. And as we then have this discussion today, I would like just to us to reflect on a few things. First of all, we have one single planet. If I may ask all of you, is there another planet you can go to? Is there? We have only this planet. There is no planet B, and everything that we do as the human race is measured and accounted for on this planet. Where we are today in economic terms, we are probably at our most unequal moment in history, economically. If you look at the rich of the world, they are extremely rich. I mean, the richest man in the world today is Elon Musk, and his net worth, depending on how the markets do it, especially in America, is now reaching or moving towards $500 billion. You know, that's mind-boggling. That is 4 times Kenya's GDP. I mean, when we reach that point where individuals are rivaling countries in terms of wealth, you know, there is no country in Africa which is richer than Elon Musk. You know, South Africa is at $450 billion. Nigeria is around 350 thereabout. Kenya is at 130. So, guys, how did we end up having a world where one individual is richer than each individual country of the 54 countries in Africa? So we are at our most unequal moment. Kenya is one of those very unequal countries. If you look at the unequal countries of the world, Kenya is in the top 5, South Africa is, Brazil is. And we are saying, surely, you know, when God gives each human being a single life, how do they maximize their happiness? How do they maximize their freedom if poverty is what plagues them? If you look at the world's GDP today, the world's GDP is 114 trillion. What's GDP? GDP is the annual income or output in an economy at any one time. So we collectively as a planet are having an annual output of $114 trillion. Of course, America leads with 30 trillion, which is around yeah, 28% of the global output. And we are saying, if you divide that by the 8.4 billion of us on this planet, each human being ideally should have an average income of $14,000 per annum, which is reasonable. I mean, in economics, we say, if you have an annual income of $20,000 per annum, you can live comfortably. You're okay. How did we end up in a situation where almost half the world population lives on less than $2 a day? $2 a day, roughly, I mean, gives you $730 per annum. Did we envisage a world like that, where a few people are so rich and only a small fraction? If you look at even a country like America, it's a very unequal society. 3% of America's population controls half of the wealth. And so we have some extremely wealthy people and very many poor people. If you look at even New York, why Mamdani became the mayor, he became the mayor on account of, screaming about inequalities. Okay, and I was even me, who I assume I know much about the world. I was shocked by the data Mamdani was giving about the city of New York. It's a very unequal town, extremely wealthy people. It's the richest city in the world, but it has also extremely poor people. People in the streets, people living in very difficult circumstances. And we are saying, surely, the world cannot go on like this. So most of you are doing very great things in trying to reach out to those who have and distributing that wealth to those who don't. And so it's a noble cause, but we are finding ourselves in very interesting circumstances. One, there is donor fatigue. People are tired of giving. Why? Most of them, of course, are saying, I've been giving for the last X number of years. I'm not seeing the impact. Okay? And in some circumstances, some donors are also become number two mean. America is one good example. Out of the blue, the new American president just slaughtered the whole world by cutting off US aid. I ran a project where half of our income came from US aid, and it put us in a crisis. And we are still in that crisis even today. And so countries like America have become very mean. USAID is a $50 billion operation, and it made friends for America globally. And that was the reason JF Kennedy created it in the first place. And today, America has lost so many friends, but I don't think Donald Trump cares. Okay, so fatigue, some are mean. Others are also have reduced empathy for the less fortunate in our society. It's not that they don't know that they are less fortunate people. We have social media, you can see the level of deprivation in the world. But so we have just reached a point where people no longer have empathy. And others have also gone broke. And I'll give you an example of, say, many countries in Europe. Look at when USAID was slaughtered by Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Europe they were in a crisis because they ran out of cash. Why? America said, we are not going to fund NATO. And NATO, which is the Northern Alliance Treaty Organization, was a defense alliance in Europe. So America threatened and reduced its contributions. And so many countries in Europe had to then divert aid money to support NATO as a defense mechanism. And remember, they have a war going on in Ukraine. And so Some are broke. They don't have the budgetary support that they usually have because America rearranged global dynamics. So the world is changing in a different way. So that's largely the Western world. Fatigue, mean, reduced empathy, and being broke. However, we need then to look at where is the world's wealth also emerging from. And my view is those of you who do fundraising need to seriously look at Asia. Asia has become a very interesting place. In the last 30 years, it has changed dramatically. For example, look at China. China now is the second largest economy in the world, doing around 19 trillion. And if you look at, say, the statistics for China, they are very interesting. Chinese government removed 800 million people out of poverty in 30 years. So the global output of the Chinese has increased dramatically. Of course, the millionaires in China have gone up dramatically. We need to ask ourselves, people like Jack Ma, who are billionaires, who do they donate money to? It can't be their own people. If you look at China today, the number of people below the poverty line are only 7 million out of 1.4 billion people. That's incredible. And so we need to look at Asia as the newly rich people. If you look at countries like South Korea, countries like Singapore, even tier 2 countries like Malaysia, Thailand, even Vietnam now is in almost tier 2. And so therefore, we are saying we need to learn the world landscape of newly rich people and how to fundraise. And for the causes that we do, we need then to see how those dynamics are. So even also, if you look at the Middle East, in the last 10 years, countries that have oil have made money incredibly. If you look at oil prices in the last 10 years, they have been sustained above $70 per barrel, and that has been incredible. If you look at countries like Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Iran, Iraq, even out of war, they have made incredible tons and tons of money. And we need to look at countries like those and say, how can Saudi Arabia redistribute that wealth it has acquired in the last 10 years to the rest of the world? And even for ones which are trading, like Dubai. Dubai has become an incredibly rich place and doesn't have oil, but from trading, it has become extremely wealthy. So in my view, we need to look east and specific countries in the east. Even Turkey has changed dramatically. And even if you look at even countries like former Soviet republics, like the Baltics, Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. Those countries have also become extremely wealthy. Poland has changed dramatically. Poland can be classified easily today as a developed country. So they are newly rich countries who have made incredible wealth, and we need to look at them. Then the other thing we also need to look at is large corporates. Now, there's something, I run a listed company, and something interesting is happening in listed companies that you need to be aware of. And this is ESG. It's no longer CSR. CSR is a forgotten story now. We are now in the world of ESG. And this ESG has been built in many countries into law. And from an accounting point of view, it is now an accounting standard. That is, you must report to the world, especially for listed companies, what you do to mitigate environmental challenges like climate change. The S is for society. What do you do for society and the impacts you create? So it's no longer just making money for shareholders. It is how you integrate making money with all the stakeholders. And society is one of those. And then the G is for governance. How are you strengthening your governance to reach out to less fortunate people, to strengthen your own ethics. And part of that ethical conduct is empathy to those who don't have. So for me, in my annual report for 2024, which we produced this year, I have a 25-page on ESG. So out of the annual report, 25 pages is on ESG. What has Jubilee done on environment, society, and governance? If you look at even companies like Safaricom, KCD, they have even separate days for reporting on ESG, on sustainability. And within the UN family, they have an association called Global Compact. Global Compact is corporates that have agreed to adhere to certain principles under the UN umbrella on ensuring that we have sustainability as the core of who we are. And so inequality is part of that sustainability, okay? And one of the things that I would like you to monitor in the next 1 or 2 years, definitely anybody who writes on inequality and the effects on the world will win a Nobel Prize for Economics. But that's coming, okay? And there's one scholar, a French scholar called Thomas Piketty. Thomas Piketty has written a lot of books, and the most important he wrote about is capitalism in the 21st century. Just read his book. It's very thick, but I'm almost certain Thomas Piketty or somebody equivalent will win the Nobel Prize in the next 2 to 3 years. It can't go beyond that. So therefore, what I'm saying is the world dynamics on giving is changing dramatically, and we must adjust ourselves as people who fundraise on how to then frame fundraising. There's a lot to learn from also the corporate world on fundraising. If you look at private companies, they do a lot of fundraising, but their fundraising is different from yours. Them, they fundraise for capital, new capital. And if you look at how companies do a pitch for, say, new capital, look at Safaricom and EABL in Kenya. In the last 1 month, they have come to the circle of capital to look for money through bonds because they are changing their capital structure. So EABL raised 16 billion, and as we speak, Safaricom is in the market to raise 40 billion. And I can tell you they will get it. It's because they have pitched at the right price. So us who manage pension funds, we will see that an attractive thing because it's now higher than treasury bonds. So we are evaluating. So everybody is in the market for fundraising, including corporates. And they also they raise money with private equity firms, venture capital, angel investors. So everybody is in the market raising money, and those are your competitors basically, because it's the same kitty in organizations that you are fundraising for. So the whole world is changing. Everybody is in the marketplace raising capital, raising money for charities. It's a lot of things. Then we also have very interesting changes in the world of giving. I'm interested in an experiment being done by the wife of Jeff Bezos. Okay, former wife. Okay. So she got half the wealth of Jeff Bezos, but look at what she's distributing, and you need to take note of some of the new dynamics. She's doing an experiment that I'm interested in myself from a scholarly point of view. She gives money, and there are 2 ways she's giving money. She gives you a constant amount, that's one experiment, and then the others she gives a lump sum. And then she tries to figure out which one is more effective, and the experiment is still going on. Okay? And she has distributed a lot of her wealth, what she got from the divorce proceedings, and I think that is one. Then Warren Buffett he retired last week from Berkshire Hathaway. The company has run for a long time at the age of 95, and is the biggest giver in the world. The biggest giver in the world. And so they have teamed up with Bill Gates to see whether they can redistribute their wealth, because for them it was obscene. The wealth was just too much. So to make peace for themselves today and in the next world, they are saying, how do we rearrange giving? So they are interesting, so that they interesting market dynamics, and all these things are happening as in your space, and you need to look at how we adjust ourselves as fundraisers to attract new capital. So I just want to drop some, what I call 8 points for fundraising as a way of conclusion. 8 points for fundraising. Number 1 is people give money to people and not spreadsheets. Let me repeat. People give money to people and not spreadsheets. What does that mean? Whenever you do a pitch in an organization, and I have people even who pitch for Jubilee CSR funds, okay, ESG funds now. A lot of things are relationships which are built over time, okay? It is people who know me, okay? People who understand how Jubilee works, the kind of courses that we have committed to. Jubilee has committed itself to, for example, children, okay? So we run a children's fund. It's not a lot, but we chose a theme around children. So you must understand the people you are applying to. So how trustworthy are you? Have you built that trust? So it's important just for you to know people give money to people. Organizations are made of people, but it is how you position yourself to people in organization. Even if you write today a proposal to Gates Foundation, okay? You are appealing to Bill Gates' mind. Bill Gates has chosen 3 themes. Eradication of disease. So he has chosen a few diseases to see whether he can eradicate, including HIV/AIDS. Financial inclusion. Up to today, he still supports equity. So can you imagine a listed company, probably the most profitable bank in East and Central Africa, but it receives donor money from Bill Gates? How is that? So you need to understand how James Mwangi pitches for donor money, even when he's a listed company. Wings to Fly, for example, is fully funded 100% by MasterCard. What was the value proposition that James Mwangi did to MasterCard? You need to understand that, because he himself doesn't put any money to Wings to Fly as a corporate. It says, I do the admin, which is basically marginal costing. The staff of Equity give their time to support Wings to Fly. MasterCard provides the funding. So look at different models, different arrangements, and we need to look at how he does it. So this is a very rich company, but receiving incredible donor money. It flips your mind. Number 2, fundraising is a sales job. Fundraising is a sales job. So those of you in this room, if you are not a salesman, you are in the wrong business. You have to be a salesman. You have to do a pitch that shows, 1, very clear, okay, what your product is, how does a company benefit, or an individual who is giving you the money. You know, it's an emotional game. It's a sales pitch. And so if you are not a good salesperson, don't try. Don't even attempt. Number 3, fundraising is telling a story. You have to tell a story. And I want you to look at the way James Mwangi, every year when he launches Wings to Fly, giving scholarships to secondary school children, he tells a story. He parades the children and he tells their stories. And that is compelling for MasterCard to write a check. Okay? Equity is the biggest recipient of MasterCard money in Africa. How did he pitch the story? And you have to appeal to the emotions of the donor, the benefactor. The benefactor emotions must come out very strongly. Number 4, donors look for impact. Donors look for impact. So don't price yourself short. If you pitch for Jubilee funds, I want to see that Jubilee's name will be indicating that it has created an impact. So if for example, you price yourself short and ask for X, yet the impact I'm looking for is 10X, I will not give you the money. Because I know that X is not good enough. It's going to just be a waste. So therefore, you must price yourself right and make sure that you keep your promise on the impact that you're going to create. So many of you price yourself short. You ask for 100,000, yet the job requires 10 million. Nobody will give you 100,000. What for? It's a waste. So price correctly, price high, and make sure you have the impact required by the benefactor. Number 5, never surprise a donor. You see, ESG, for example, is now a board item. Every board meeting I attend, and I attend several board meetings, ESG is part of it. You report. Okay? And people follow and track how their money is used. Because remember, there are other stakeholders, shareholders to report to, or government regulatory agencies to report to. So you must never surprise a donor that you took money in a Coca-Cola or you misused it. That will be the worst thing that you ever do. Donors and benefactors are looking for people who will use money diligently and create the impact that they want. The story of Equity, for example, with their Wings Supply, is a story which is told around the world. And what did Mwangi do? He also enhanced it, and he created now post-secondary programs. Okay? Not necessarily funded by MasterCard. It's called the Leadership Program, where the good ones from Wings to Fly, he sponsors them to Ivy League schools around the world, or Ivy League equivalent. So he has now convinced MasterCard that the pipeline doesn't just end at secondary school, it also goes into university, and some of your children that you educated have gone higher. And it has pulled in now MasterCard and say, also we need to think of these children. And so he has created a value chain, a very interesting model. He has created a value chain. So those who finish secondary school very well are taken to the top universities of the world, and he employs them as a bank or enables some of them to start a business. And that is how the equity clinics come in, the equity afia. So those who go and do medicine, you are given a clinic to run, and that clinic is donor funded. I think the Gates Foundation is the one who gave the money for the clinics. So he has created an ecosystem of fundraising for different things, but they are all related together. That's now fundraising at a scale some of you even cannot imagine, truly imagine. But look at a businessman creating an ecosystem where his private business and donor money is blended together in a very clever way. So you create an ecosystem that works, but never surprise a donor. Okay? You must report correctly and make sure you use the money for the purpose for which it was intended. Number 6, 80% of fundraising closes happen after the 5th touch point. So, it is not a game for the faint-hearted. You have to almost do average 5 pitches before somebody gets convinced. So you can't do one pitch and then give up and say, oh, the donor doesn't like me. The donor is reflected as you make one pitch after another one. So reaching the 5th is the most critical. So make sure that every time you do a pitch for a donor or a benefactor, you're looking at 5, at least 5. That's when you have a 8% chance of getting it. It's an emotional game also. It is somebody getting convinced that the person who is presenting has the clearest indication that they know what they are doing and they are convinced that they will execute correctly and create the impact that you want and the benefactor also wants. Because it is a congruence of interests, Number 7, build relationships years before you ask for the money. Just like I said at the beginning, people give money to people. Now, these relationships are built long before. Okay? So you could use a connection of a student, you thought. For me, for example, I know many students in many organizations. It could be a colleague that you work with before. It could be somebody you went to secondary school together or university together. It could be a relative connection from a relative. This is a people game. And these relationships are made. So therefore, what are we talking about? Thereafter. So build relationships, a relationship game. So I want you to ask yourself today, what is your social capital? What's your social capital? And how much? If you have very little, you will be fundraising much less. So it is important that you do that, okay? And then number 8, say no to toxic money. Okay? You don't have to take everything. And I'll give you an example of a project I'm involved in. Some of you know I'm involved in a few projects. One of them is the NRT, but it's not an NRT story. NRT was hammered by the fall of USAID. But there's another project called Ghetto Classics that we do in Korogosho. So we got a benefactor 2 years ago, and we did a pitch, and he agreed to run the caucus. In the process, the benefactor was too toxic. Okay, so 4 months ago, we met as a board, and we just said, take your money, let our kids go through a rough patch, but it's okay. We don't have to, it was never that serious. So therefore, say no to toxic money. Okay? And so it is important that you don't become desperate as a fundraiser. Okay? Don't become desperate as a fundraiser, because there's money all over. I've told you places. So, for example, I used to sit on the board of LEWA for 9 years, and we used to do a lot of fundraising. So we are fundraising in USA, we have LEWA USA, we have LEWA Europe, and we are targeting, royal families. And LEWA is successful today because of those donors. And when donor fatigue set in, they were well diversified, and they have been able to survive. So it is important that as we raise money, don't just be a yes person. Make sure you align with the interests of the donor. But if it becomes toxic, just say no. There are other places, okay? Your donees might go through a rough patch, but that's the nature of life, okay? That's the nature of life. So therefore, what I can say is, those are my 8 principles. I'm also a fundraiser in Nago. And just at Wanyonyi, I'm not your member, but I do fundraise a lot. And so we look at various approaches. I know in that team there's also Sueda, who used to fundraise for LEWA, and she knows what we used to do. So there's a lot of interesting things. So in conclusion, I can say the following. The world is changing extremely fast. Look at technology. So how do we use technology now and leverage fundraising? When Obama was campaigning in 2008 for US presidency, he developed a new model of getting small money from many people. And that is a new technique now, crowdsourcing, and then getting new funding. So the world is changing rapidly. How can we leverage technology to make sure that we are, embracing the world as it comes? Then, social media. Social media has become a very important tool for projecting the need to the world. So if you are fundraising, it's easy now to communicate to a larger audience on the needs of the people around the world. And there are younger people who are more empathetic to the world. And I can say without any shadow of doubt, Gen Zs are very empathetic to the world. Probably my generation, Gen Xs are very mean, okay? People like Trump are in the other generation, baby boomers, who are also more mean, okay? But what I can say is that younger people are more empathetic to inequality, to the needs of the poor, to those who are suffering. So they are more empathetic. Even issues of environment, they are very empathetic, because they are the ones who are going to bear the brunt of climate change. So social media has become a very strong platform for communicating. The third one is reporting is a very key aspect of fundraising. And how you report accurately, don't exaggerate. You must report accurately. But also, many people underreport. So please make sure that you are able to report accurately, and make sure you also try to dig the impact. Sometimes we are not very good in analyzing some of the impacts we create on the ground. So you must involve reporting experts who then understand how to measure the impact of your fundraising. Because that is what the donor is waiting for, to give you the next tranche, to commit themselves in the long term to the cost that you have identified. So it's very important that we report, and we report correctly. And then finally, now that you are members of an association, how can we translate this into a profession? Have you ever thought of that? Fundraising professionals. Just like we have communications as a profession, HR as a profession, accounting as a profession, why can't we have fundraising as a profession? That's the challenge I leave to Edward and your team. I look forward in the next few years that we are going to have an act of parliament, okay, called Fundraising Professionals Act. And it creates various institutions and examination that somebody goes through, and then certification of a professional, and then CPE points for being a fundraising professional. If you do that, then you will have left a good legacy for yourself and for your profession. And then the world will be much better when we have professional fundraisers who then are able to account, and you'll be no different from those who do fundraising, okay, for companies called investment bankers. So be the investment bankers. Thank you very much. Asante sana. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Anyonya, I can't hear you.
Thank you very much, sir. You never disappoint. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, one of the things I did in my PhD was to study 60 CEOs. And Kip was one of the CEOs I studied. And so in my study, please today allow me to say this. He's one of the celebrity CEOs that I know. But he's one of the 5 CEOs that survived. One of the 5 that survived. The rest of them have crashed. And so if I just give you 2 examples so that you get to understand the space. You remember a gentleman called Titus Naikuni at Kenya Airways. When he left, what happened? It's for you to decide. You remember a gentleman called Evans Kidero in Mumia Sugar. When he left, what happened? But we still have Kip here, and we still have KWS there. So please, let's give him a clap again to our CEO for a good job well done. Thank you. Now, we open the floor for some questions. He's given us some very important nuggets. You know, it's amazing. Those figures. I was just thinking that amount of money, and I thought if anyone in this room just gets a small portion of the money from Warren Buffett, I have no idea what will happen. Maybe they will not attend the next fundraising conference because they will already be sorted out.
You increase your ambitions, Wanyonyi.
He's speaking.
If you receive money, you receive more.
Some questions at the back. We start at the farthest.
Thank you very much for your insights. This is a very important session, and we are learning a lot from you. My name is Helen Mudora from Uraia Trust. I wanted to ask you, what is your view of Bill Gates, the tension that comes right now, especially after COVID, the conspiracy theories that come that he was probably one of the people involved in, in that. And so what does it mean to take his money right now? I always feel conflicted based on what I hear. I'm not sure it's factual, but yes, you want the money, but then those conspiracy theories, what do they do now for him as a giver? Thank you very much.
We can take 2 more, and then you will answer. Just please introduce yourself. for the sake of Daktari.
Thank you, Daktari, for the excellent presentation. It's an eye-opener for some of us. Mine is, why are we still, our eyes glued towards outside help? Where is our own? Who could even generate better? Because culturally, I'm Ahmed Mohammed from Garissa University. Culturally, the Africans before Europeans came were self-sufficient. The communities were running their own kingdoms and empires without any poverty, according to the records we read from books. It's not the right time that we go back to our cultures and traditional system so that we boost resource mobilization rather than gluing our eyes to another world. Thank you.
Thank you. Please remember to introduce yourself.
Thanks so much. I think starting the day with such comments makes our sitting here very important and useful. I wanted to ask just one question. I'm Nicholas Sewe from Ampath. I wanted to ask about, social enterprise. How would you set that up within an organization that has been fully getting funds from different organizations? How do you pick that up to start running with it?
One final one before you respond.
Thank you so much. I'm Daniel Kimutai, working for Tia Fund. And thank you so much, Daktari, for your presentation. It was really nice. And it kept me reflecting a lot. Just one question, and this relates to where the donors are now moving. We have some bilateral donors who are now demanding that for them to fund a country, then there must be some trade related with that. So some of them are pushing for aid for trade. And I'm just wondering what your advice will be for us as fundraisers, because I know some donors who have pulled out of some countries. For example, the Swedish government is pulling out of South Sudan because there's no active trade that is going on there. I know also of the Dutch government, which is also pulling out in some countries, even in South Sudan, because they don't see any benefit that they get in that country. So the question is, and I know that you have talked about empathy and how donors are empathetic, but there's also this concept of aid for trade. And just wondering, in this space where we are now, what will be your advice? Thanks.
Before you respond, there's one more. There's one lady who says she must speak. Otherwise, we will not have peace here.
He's very right. I'm Dorcas Shikuku Kita, wearing many hats here. I run a farm. I'm an advocate. I'm a member of FIDA and was introduced to this association by FIDA many years ago. I've attended 2 other workshops at White Sands. But I'm here, I'm picking up on the last point that Professor gave on fundraisers or fundraising being recognized as a profession. I think it is time that was done. And why do I say that? The many organizations I deal with, and I've been in quite a number, the fundraisers have a back, you don't get the corner office, let me describe it like that. You have like a back office somewhere where when a new staff member comes, you'll be put in the corridor, and what our profession is not looked at as worthy of anything. Yet we are the ones who keep. At FIDA, if the fundraiser, the person in charge of fundraising wasn't there, FIDA would not be surviving. So I take it to Munchilu and the rest that we pick up on this and make sure that it's actually turned into a profession that is worth looking up to, because we are actually worth looking up to. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me address or make comments on each of them. Helen, the world is full of jealous people. And remember, Bill Gates has been doing this support for the last 15 years. I think Gates Foundation has been around for the last 15 years. And as I told you, he has 3 worthy causes. Some of them are controversial because some others are jealous about what he does. That's my view. And of course, they put all sorts of conspiracy theories. If you look at the current health minister in the US, Robert Kennedy, is the chief conspirator. He talks about funny things that I've never heard of even, and he's not even a scientist. He hates vaccines. And if vaccines were not there in the world, what would be our mortality? It would be incredible. I mean, can you imagine if you never had a vaccine for polio? What would have happened to you or your children? So, of course, there are so many conspiracies around the world. Let's not focus on conspiracy, let's focus on the facts. Okay, let facts determine how you make decisions. Conspiracy theories, because of social media today, you know, we remember we have as many journalists as there are people who own a smartphone. So it could be 7 billion people who own a smartphone. So you have 7 billion journalists, and they can write anything, and you have no control. So let us focus on the facts. I still believe Bill Gates as goodwill to the world, and let's leave those who have conspiracy theories to continue. You can't stop them. All you can do is just let them continue. Let's engage, and I don't want you to fear what he does. Okay. And he has created incredible impact, and he changed the rules of the game, of how giving is done. Ahmed, outside help versus internal help. Now, let me talk about Kenyans. How do Kenyans, the rich Kenyans, make money in what way? 90% of the rich Kenyans are thieves. So, thieves behave in a very fun way. If somebody makes a lot of money by hard work, their mind thinks very differently from those who have stolen. And so those who are thieves are very mean. It's a very strange correlation. They are very mean. And so, in fundraising for capital, there are people called angel investors. They are the very first people that come very early in investing in your project because they believe in you. There are people who are high risk takers, and so in fundraising, do we have angel investors, the fundraising of your type? Yes, they are there. And in many countries, there are people who have made money genuinely and are willing to help, and they mean it, okay? And so, those who steal are very poor givers, because why did they steal it in the first place? They wanted to deny the poor, because what they steal are taxpayers, tax money. So it is, our challenge, Ahmed, is because those who are very rich in Kenya have stolen from the poor. So how can they be generous to the same poor people? They could go to a church and give some money, or a mosque, but they just give a very small fraction of what they have taken from the very same people. So my idea is we will still need outside help, because if you look at Kenya's GDP, the average income is $2,400. That's the average GDP. Remember, I told you, economists say you must have a threshold of $20,000 per person. So Kenyans just earn a tenth of what is required to be comfortable. So we have too many poor people. Actually, 45% of Kenyans are below the poverty line. So a mass of people, okay, more than 20 million of them below the poverty line. Now, who is rich enough in Kenya to donate so much money to give to the poor? And those who are rich in Kenya majority of them have stolen from the same people. So they cannot be generous, the same people. They were stealing for a purpose. So we still need outside help. The rich of the world, whether it's in Western Europe or America, we will still go to the East. They are too rich. They have gone so far that we need some of their help, but the local ones have stolen from us, and I don't expect them to give us. Nicholas talked about social enterprise. Now, social enterprise, many enterprises, entrepreneurs actually begin from a social point of view. They try something, an idea, and it moves into probably a commercial idea down the road. What drives enterprise is profit. Yeah, social enterprise is something which may give you a little profit, a little return, probably not market return, but a little return. So we need to ask ourselves today, how do we promote social enterprises, okay, so that, and they grow into bigger enterprises? And that now is for economists and accountants, people who have a business mind, to grow the businesses to as big as is possible. If you look at, say, the journey of Facebook, that's a very interesting one. Facebook was created by a student. What is Facebook? Facebook is a notice board. And everywhere you see is a notice board. But Zuckerberg, as a student in Harvard, saw an idea and say, we now have the technology to create a global Facebook, a global notice board. And that was the idea. So it started off as a social enterprise, a student figuring out, and he tested it among his peers in the university. And it became something, a sensation on campus that you can post. So he was not the one creating the content. It is students who are creating the content and posting, okay, by leveraging technology platform.
Recording stopped. Recording
Today,
in progress.
Facebook has 2-3 billion people who post every day. And that has made him the richest person in California. He's now worth around $60-70 billion. Does he create the content? No. So this is something which was now a social enterprise, but look at how it has ballooned into a global enterprise. So many of you do a lot of fundraising to support social causes, but you don't have the strategy of ballooning that and some of those ideas into commercial things and grow. Now, some of those ideas may need to move from Kenya. If you ask Elon Musk today, for example,
Recording stopped.
and tell him, would you be as rich if you had remained in South Africa? The answer is no, because South Africa does not provide a conducive environment for big ideas. In terms of capital, in terms of intellectual property rights, there are just too many constraints. So America has created
Recording
an
in
environment
progress.
where ideas can balloon. So we must have a very clear strategy of how to convert some successful social enterprises to very successful commercial enterprises. Some of you have probably funded social enterprise and you abandoned them because you didn't have a strategy of measuring, does it translate into a big idea? And that is part of, if you look at James Mwangi, he has broken that cycle. Some of these social enterprises, like the clinics, he has over 100 now, and all of them are run by people ex-wings to fly, who did medicine. Those are social enterprises. But some of them, over the years, could even translate into big hospitals. Just watch this space. In another 20-25 years, some of them, probably a quarter of them, will be big hospitals in their own right. So a social enterprise later on turned into commercial, and you will leverage the bank to fund it, to give it a loan, to then balloon it. So different models, but that is, to me, that's the way to think, Nicholas. You have to think beyond just supporting somebody with a small idea. You have to then say, I have supported you. I'm handing you over now to a commercial, probably an angel investor, or a venture capital fund, or a private equity fund, or even do an IPO. That is the route that businesses go through. Daniel talked about aid for trade. Of course, one principle, and lawyers keep talking about this, Daniel, is there's no free lunch. Hakuna kitu ya bure. It's a quid pro quo, give and take. Okay? So if there's aid for trade, it's obvious. What are you giving me back in return if I give you something? So that was a consequence of government, okay, funding. So if you are receiving especially government funding as a recipient, just know that those countries will eventually ask for something in return. That's an obvious thing, and I don't want to belabor that. Just remember, there is no free lunch. And then Dorcas Shikuku talked about professionalism.
Recording stopped.
In the kind of space that you are doing the fundraising, as I said earlier on, you have no choice. You have created a critical mass now. Let's create a profession. So let's work on a bill, get somebody to draft a bill, fundraise to sponsor the bill through Parliament, use benchmarks around the world. I'm sure you are not the only ones doing fundraising as a profession. So just like if you go to me, your equivalent in the private sector world is investment banking. Investment bankers are fundraisers. Okay? They develop a term sheet. It has now become a body of knowledge. What do you do? To be an investment banker, you have to do CFA, Certified Financial Analyst, CFA. So your exams could be Certified Fundraising Analyst. I don't know. I have no idea what to call it. But it's up to you. But the key thing is learn from those who fundraise in the commercial world, which is investment banking. And then now benchmark against that and say, how do we create a profession for this space that does fundraising for social causes?
Recording in progress.
And they are certified professionals.
Wow.
Back to you, Wanyonyi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kip. You know it's amazing. Some of the things we are learning, we thought we are the only fundraisers, but in the other profession, they're also fundraisers, so the competition is real. But just two final questions before you go, because I know you need to move, but just two final ones.
Thank you, Daktari, for the informative session. I feel like this session is tailor-made for me because I have too many questions to ask, but I'll just narrow them down to only two. My name is Caroline. I'm representing Desta University. And before I joined Desta University, we were running a funding platform that was the only platform that was informing African universities of the many funding opportunities that are actually streaming in from the different donors. And from where I sit for the last 6 years, I have realized that among the spaces that people fear to, or what I would call murky waters, is the LGBTQ topic within the African context. And the truth is, I can be able to see so much funding coming from abroad on the same scope, but we have been unable to coil that to actually get the best of funding from that scope. I don't know what your thoughts are, given the African morality setup. How can we be able to harness from that? And then, coming from an institution of higher learning, there are standards that are usually kept, or better still, that make a university, for example, be grant ready. And some of these things like webometrics, I've found them as an impediment to actually fundraising for institutions of higher learning. How can we be able to have a change of, have a change of this, or better still, how can us as Africans change the indices or inform the indices of these platforms like webometrics, like I said. And lastly, I would want to know what are, from your experience, what are the emerging trends in fundraising that you think we should pursue going forward? Because of course you've said the ESG. What other emerging trends do you think can actually help us harness most of the fundraising resources that are coming from abroad? Thank you.
You know, I have been told by that in terms of time we're not doing very well, so please will allow, please proceed and you answer that.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Caroline, I'm glad you work for a university, and I'll give you a small story. I don't know whether some of you are in the University of Nairobi when I was Director of Student Welfare. That was 97. And in 96, the University of Nairobi was in a financial crisis. And the Chancellor was the President Moi. And the Vice Chancellor, Professor Gishaga, at the time, went to see Moi and said, we are in a financial crisis. We are not able to meet our obligations. Some of those obligations, when I was Director of Student Welfare, was paying our bills for electricity on time and how to fundraise. So there's a comment Moi made to him, and he came and told us at the University Management Board. Gishaga was asked by Moi, Sasa wewe Professor, you are coming to me to ask for money, na nyinyi mlienda shule. And he told him, Professors, go back and ask your colleagues who are professors and whatever, PhD holders, very clever people, to come up with ideas on how to raise money for the university. So he came back to us empty-handed because he was expecting a check from the National Treasury. He was told, "Hakuna pesa, go and figure out." Okay? So he formed a committee of 4 people. I was one of them, to look at ways in which the university. So the first thing we did was an inventory of what does the university have. Okay? To my shock, the biggest landowner in the city of Nairobi is University of Nairobi. For example, at Upper Kabete campus, where the College of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences is, it has 2,000 acres within the city of Nairobi. I was like, hey? Then across on the Kiambu side, a place called Kanyariri, it has 800 acres, where the Wangari Maathai Institute is, 800. Lower Kabete is another, I think, 500. Main campus, including Chiromo, I think it's sitting on almost 500 acres. They have 500 acres in Gong. They have 10,000 acres in Kibwezi. So we ask ourselves, we are sitting on so much public resource, but the return is minimal. How can we, okay? Then we ask ourselves, most of the people who are sitting in the Senate, because the Senate is full of professors, went to other universities as privately sponsored students. Either they did an Arambe or he got a scholarship. So we say, why don't we admit more students? It looks common sense. It's like, no wonder Moi was looking at Gishaga in a very fun way. So that's how Parallel was born in 97. And we started implementing it in 98. The rest is history. Okay? So, we did the quick wins. Parallel was the quickest, admitting private sponsored students. But look at the expansion in universities over the last 20 years. It has been incredible. Now, what the same government killed parallel along the way by making sure that anybody above C+ got a government scholarship. That was the wrong approach. And that's what's created the current financial crisis. Because then government ran out of, universities ran out of students to admit because it couldn't lower the grade for admission below C+. But look at just that alone, So my view, Caroline, is Daystar is incredibly rich, a very, very rich university, okay? What we just need to ask ourselves is it using its resources well? So part of its resources, number one, it's alumni, okay? The alumni of Daystar University are very prominent journalists already. And we need to ask ourselves, are we leveraging on the alumni, okay? Number two is, what of the friends of the university? My daughter went to Yale University, and I went to that university, and I was very interested in how it works. Yale has an endowment of $32 billion. 32 billion, that's a quarter of Kenya's GDP. And so it's running on incredible, Harvard has an endowment of $50 billion. So we need to ask ourselves, are we growing, by leveraging on the assets we have, okay? And our friends, and also many things that are going on. So just imagine the shock to me, how rich our university was, and I didn't know. By just we did an inventory. University of Nairobi still, even up to today, from 97, has not utilized that land correctly. For example, if you look at student hostels, Kwetu is an idea we had in 97. And look at how private sector ran with it. And they do student hostels. The highest return on real estate in Kenya is student hostels. The highest return on real estate. So you can expand residential houses for students without spending a dime of Daystar, by just providing the land and say, okay, investor, come, our contribution is the land, make sure that you now give a discount to the student equivalent to the value of that land, and we are in business, we give you, under a PPP arrangement, you run the hostels for 20 years, they revert back as assets of the university after 20 years, and you go away. That was an idea we had in 1997. We proposed to the treasury deferred. Can you imagine, that was 97, and it was a 20-year deal. All those, if we had done, say, 10,000 hostels, 10,000 room hostels, those assets would belong to the university today, because it passed 20 years. We are not thinking creatively, Caroline, and that is why we fall into interests like LGBTQ. We fall into cheap interests because we are not thinking widely, we are not thinking bigger, okay? I'm sure Daystar has a lot of land in Athi River. How have you leveraged that land? Kwetu is desperate, looking for where to put hostels. I'm sure you can fund, using private capital, all the hostel needs you need in Daystar. I guarantee you. If you want me to midwife the deal between you and Kwetu, I can, because I know them pretty well. But private capital sitting on university land is the way to go. The other one is estate planning. There have been rich Kenyans who have never thought of writing a will for the benefit of worthy causes. For example, look at a very rich Kenyan, a billionaire like Charles Njojo, former Attorney General. Where did this estate go? President Moy, President Kibaki. I mean, they can't leave all that wealth to their children. The Kenyatas, they have a trust, Kenyatta Trust. What do they do with all that money they have? So we are not being creative, okay? And then also we are not, reaching out to people around the world. I mean, Yale University was reaching out to me to contribute part of their endowment to their endowment of $32 billion. I look at them and I'm like, hey, you guys are not serious. But the fact that they wrote to me means they don't leave anything to chance. So that is why I'm saying, Caroline, we need a degree in fundraising so that then we understand how donors think, how benefactors think, and how we are going to pitch, just in the same way investment banking. I mean, the people who structured that deal for Safaricom, the 40 billion, those are investment bankers. That's their job. What you saw in the paper is called a term sheet, okay? And they appeal to people like me who have pension money, and I am going to invest your pension in projects like those. That's fundraising. If people can raise 40 billion in Kenya's economy, EABL last week raised 16.7 billion. Sasa nyinyi, raising even 2 million becomes a challenge for you. How? Asante sana.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kip. And
okay, so Wanyonyi?
Yes.
So therefore, mine is just to wish you well. Mine, because I have to log off for another meeting.
Sure.
Mine is to wish you well. There are many ideas on fundraising, but let's begin by setting up the profession first. If you set up profession, it triggers content. People learn now content and techniques, and you become experts at it, and you will fly. I'm interested in employing such a person for NRT. I'm interested in employing such a person for our ghetto classics. Because those are the two fundraising projects I run, and I've learned a lot. So thank you very much, Asante San.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We truly appreciate for your time. We have a diversity of team members here, and just thank you very much for even sparing time. I know today was one tight day, but just this, like you did to me 2 weeks into my job when you had to send me to Italy to negotiate for $5 million when I had no brief. That was the best thing that ever happened. So thank you very much. I've seen you've also thrown us one. We need to think a little bit more. So asante sana. We truly appreciate, and you are a friend of fundraising. When we reach out to you, please just open the check because we know you have one. Asante sana. Please, let's give him a clap again. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. I'm told my time is out, and this is the time I must just not say anything before I'm jobless.
Let's give a big clap to Dr. Thank you very, very much. Is the sound coming out? Yes. Okay. Yeah, we really, really thank you, Dr. for making it happen. How was it? It was cool? Brenda, do we have a QR code for the evaluation? Maybe you can share it so that as you are breaking for lunch, you can just stream it on screen. Please. Yeah. Yeah, we're breaking for tea break, isn't it? For lunch. No, I think I'm excited about that opening session. And therefore, so we'll be sharing with you the QR code for evaluation in a short while. And as we shared when we began, we really request you to tweet. Sometimes when you tweet these things, you remember what was shared. And you're also able to share with the rest of the world. And there are some very, very cool things which Dr. has mentioned there. And one of them is about the profession. And as Mike will tell you, when you look at our original constitution, that was one of the things it was founded, isn't it, Mike? And therefore, many years later, Dr. is mentioning about the same thing, and I know we are going to make it. So, Cindy, please come and guide us the next steps.
It's a democracy, and we are 70. So we have to factor in washroom breaks, the walk to the tea, and talking. Can we be back by 11:45? And then can we therefore have a late lunch and break for lunch at 1:30 so we can have an all-inclusive session? All right, please note we start at 11:45 whether you're here or not. So please make sure you're back on time. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, please see Brenda or Anne. We'll be posting the form there, the feedback form, so you can tell us about the first session. Enjoy your tea break. Let's meet at 11:45. Asante.